Hello, everybody. It's Friday, October the 10th, 2025, and it's time for the 10th anniversary episode of AMA Air. We want to thank you guys so much for joining us and celebrating today. Let's do it. The 10th anniversary episode starts right now. Boy, I haven't seen those graphics in a long time. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of AMA Air. My name is Matt Ruddick.
Hey, guys, I'm Lee Ray.
Lee, it is our 10th anniversary episode. What do you think about all of that?
Hey, congratulations, man. I've only been part of the way, so you've been the entire path.
Well, it's been a long 10 years. It's been a lot of fun. The show has changed a lot over the 10 years that we've been doing it. I started out behind the scenes. Now I'm in front of the camera. It's been a wild ride, but I'm glad that you've been part of it, at least part of the way with us.
I have enjoyed everything.
Well, guys, we've got a great show lined up for you today. We've got some awesome guests that we're going to be talking to. And we, of course, got our normal stuff that we do during the show, our cover photo contest, Club of the Month, etc. And we're going to hear about, Lee, your trip to Neat Fair as well. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, we're going to bring on our first guest to help us celebrate our 10th anniversary. You're going to recognize this person from the very beginning of AMA Air. She was one of the original hosts of the show. Please welcome, everyone, Miss Erin Dobbs to the show. Hello, Erin. I was like, oh no, where did she go?
All that was missing was the cane to bring her in.
Well, I had to do something funny. I mean, come on.
I love it. Erin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain too much. It's like the best month of the entire year. It's totally spooky season, so it's pretty good.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank you so much for helping us celebrate our 10th anniversary. 10 years ago, we were starting this show up, and we needed hosts. We knew that we needed some awesome people to be on screen and on camera to talk to our members. And so we put out an email to the staff and said, hey, who wants to audition for our show? And I can tell you that when we were formulating what the show was going to look like and everything, I had you in mind. I wanted you to be a part of it, but we had to convince you a little bit. And tell me a little bit about how that thought process went through your head when we kind of nudge. Hey, Erin, why don't you come do the show?
Well, making decisions at 36 comes a lot easier, so you just are like, oh, I'll do it. Then you do at 46, because then you have to assess, is this going to be hard on my body, or
is this good for my career?
Exactly. But really, I think at that point with AMA, I was getting more and more involved with Expo, and I guess intermingling with, major players in the industry and building relationships with them. So it was going to be a really good outlet to be able to talk to those people, let them know about AMA Air and how it can be utilized and how we can help them on AMA Air. So that would be my thinking now, which didn't exactly answer your question, because I tell you, I don't even remember from yesterday.
Well, I know that I'm sure you had to have some reservations. I mean, I know you don't. I know this about you, Erin, because I've gotten to know you very well over the years. You don't love being in front of the camera.
Do not. No, I don't. You know,
which is weird because you're just so
Because
much
you're
fun
so
when
good.
when we do our team shows. You're so I will say you look like a deer in headlights on some of the earlier stuff. You know, just a little bit, but you were just peppy. And I was going to go back to the expo. That was the first time I met you, and you were a peoply person. So I think you're just warm and welcome. And I'm so glad that you got to be part of it because you and I have done a couple of AMA Air shows ourselves.
we have. And, you know, honestly, I'm really glad that I did it. I think it helped me in being okay in front of a camera because then it started. I mean, back to Expo, we started doing like on the floor interviews, and Matt was always there to like, you know, bring that calmness to the world when I was having to interview somebody. So it's, it was definitely a learning experience for sure. And then I was very grateful that I had the people around me to help me when, you know, literally all eyes are on you in some way, or at least you feel like they are when, you know, people are walking by you and not even paying attention to you, but that's not how it feels. You feel like, oh my gosh, if I mess up, I'm just going to look like such an idiot. But we're humans. You just got to go with the flow.
Well, that actually is kind of an interesting segue to this other topic that I wanted to bring up with you because obviously over the 10 years, AMA Air, the format of this show has changed dramatically from the way it was when we first began. You know, I remember those, you know, the first couple of years sitting at my desk scripting out the show for you and Chris to read off a teleprompter, and we don't do that anymore. What was that like for you? Basically, trying to read a script off a teleprompter, off the cuff like that.
Well, back then, the teleprompter was like my security blanket because I knew what I had to say. I didn't have to think about it. And then when I was put into the, hey, do you want to do like interviews on the floor at various shows? It was difficult because I had to think on your feet as though you are a live broadcaster. And that's exactly why I did not go into journalism. So there's that. But the teleprompter thing was really fun because there were names of cities and individuals that just did not come out correctly. And so we had a lot of laughs behind the scenes filming those teleprompter shows.
Well, speaking of laughs and behind the scenes laughs, I'm glad you said that because we have a really special treat. Because, back in that first year, I recall the Christmas party, the company Christmas party we had. Somebody said, hey, Matt, it would be a great idea is if you put together a blooper reel from the show that you guys are doing. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And so we put that together and we showed it at the Christmas party. And I don't think it's been seen outside of that until now. Hey, Bryce, why don't you roll that beautiful bean footage for us?
Okay.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Okay, we're ready.
Okay.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Go ahead.
Red leather, yellow leather. Okay, go ahead. That's voice. It's pros. Okay.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. All right, we ready?
Erin, say something.
Say something.
Tyler, can you do me a favor? Put your hands up like this and clap. Thank you.
That's fake. That was for nothing. Go ahead.
I don't know if I've ever practiced the red leather, yellow leather. We just roll.
I forgot how funny that
It's
was.
hilarious. That's good stuff.
Poor people.
Those were the parts that were safe to air. We had some other things in there that we maybe we'll show on the 20th anniversary. Well, Erin, I want to thank you so much for taking some time today to kind of talk about the show and your experience on the show. We, when we think about AMA Air, at least when I think about AMA Air, you're one of the first people that come to mind because you were so instrumental in getting this show off the ground. I mean, without you and Chris being able to be on screen, being willing to do that, this show wouldn't have lasted a year, much less 10. So we want to thank you so much for everything you did for the show.
That is very kind, and I would do it all again. AMA is has been very good to me. It is something I feel deep in my heart. Very passionate about the entire organization. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be working in my almost 27th year here. So I would do it all over again. And really quick, just thank you to everyone who has also been a part of AMA Air. You guys have kept it going long after I was ever on the show, which is amazing. And then two, thank you to all the members who watch and have supported the entire organization and the staff, because if it wasn't for you, none of us would have jobs, essentially. So thank you, AMA members. I truly mean that.
Absolutely. And yes, everyone, Erin started working here when she was 3 years old. She did say this is her 27th year.
I wish that was the case. I was 19, but we're good.
Well, Erin, thank you so much for joining us today. And we really appreciate, again, all the kind words and everything you've done for us over the years. And we appreciate you being on the show today.
Truly my pleasure. Bye, Lee. Bye, Matt.
See you, Erin. Thank you so much. It's fun to go back and see some of those old clips, Lee, because, I was working behind the scenes. I was, writing the script, shooting the show, editing the show. It was way more kind of guerrilla style, I think, than probably what it is we do today. But I remember when I only been working at AMA for about 8 months when we started the show. And when I first hired in as the video producer for the AMA, doing this show was one of the first things that was mentioned to me, after I got hired, as something that they wanted to do, something they'd been kind of thinking about and wanted to, launch as a way to communicate important information to our members in a more timely manner than what we were able to do thus far. And I want to bring in our next guest to talk a little bit about that, because this was his brainchild. Please welcome to the show our communications director, Mr. Rob Kurek. Hey, Rob.
Hi. Good afternoon, Matt and Lee. It's good to be on the show. Appreciate the opportunity very much.
Absolutely. We appreciate you being here. Rob, it seemed impossible to talk about the 10-year anniversary of AMA Air without having you as part of the conversation, because as I mentioned, when I first came on board at the AMA, this was something that you were pitching to me as something you wanted to start doing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the concept and the idea you had for this show?
Well, thank you very much. Sure, I'll be happy to, although I don't think I can quite reach the level of jocularity that Erin hit so well just before me. But I'll try, but I'm sure I'll be an epic fail. So the concept for the show goes all the way back to 2014 when I attended a convention, the Association Media and Publishing Convention in Washington, D.C. They typically then had an annual conference every year. And that year, the hot topic was video. How can associations use video to do more effective communications around what they're doing and engage with their members at the same time? So that was a real challenge that I saw, that AMA needed to find a way to step up and meet that need. So when I came back from the show, I went to Chad Boudreau, who at the time was our multimedia editor, and said, "Hey, Chad, we need to do a video show." And he sort of sat back, his eyes got real big, and he was entering a state of shock. So I had to sort of walk him through it a little bit, and one thing led to another, and it all came together very well. Even from the beginning, quite honestly, we had a lot of thinking to do as to what kind of studio we wanted, what format we wanted. A lot of people, as you've mentioned earlier, were involved and took part in that evolution of the show over that 10-year period. So it's been a lot of fun to watch, and I'm really glad to see if people can have fun with it, because when you can do that at the same time you're working, that pretty much says it all right there. It's going to be more successful that way, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I recall, we did, we went out and visited the AOPA, which is another association out on the East Coast. And because I know that they were doing a show at that time that, I think you saw as inspiration and kind of a model for what we could be doing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, if you could?
Sure. So I had fortunately been able to develop a relationship with Tom Haynes of the AOPA, Association Operators and Pilots Association. And when I started talking to Tom, I realized we had a lot of things in common, a lot of similar challenges, a lot of things that we wanted to accomplish with our respective organizations. And it just seemed like a great opportunity, again, to share information. And out of that came this idea of, hey, could we come? I sort of gave self-invited us, basically. I said, can we come and visit AOPA to see your studio, to see how you do it, talk to the people that are behind it. And that was a great 2 days, because not only did we learn about the show, we learned a little bit about how they do social media. We learned a little bit about how they put the magazine together. We were able to touch base with a number of people while we were there. So I'm so thrilled to this day that we were given that opportunity to do that. And I think it really paid off. It was a 10-hour drive there and back, but it was well worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, I really do believe that, that gave us a really great starting point for us to say, okay, here's an example of a show that was working very well and, and effective in what they were trying to do. And, it didn't take a $1 million budget to make it happen. You could do this very inexpensively and very effectively. And I feel like that's what we've been able to do here on the show.
Absolutely. No, it's been a very interesting 10-year ride, but I think it's in good hands now. And I appreciate, I think, as much as anything, our members' support, as Erin said. Without them, none of this would be really possible. So the fact that they, have tuned into the show after all these years, sort of, in my mind, at least validates a little bit this whole idea that this is a different way to tell stories. It's a great way to get information out about the organization, timely news, as you mentioned, Matt, something we've never been able to do before. So I'm just very thankful for the opportunity to be a part of it.
Well, thank you so much for that, Rob. We appreciate you coming on the show and joining us today to talk a little bit about this. It's, I remember we celebrated our 100th episode a few years ago, and that was a big milestone. But man, when we were coming up on this year and realized, God, this is the 10th anniversary of the show. I can't believe this show has been going on for 10 years. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and we couldn't think of a better person to come on and help us celebrate than the guy who came up with the idea himself. So thank you so much, Rob.
Well, thank you both very much, and appreciate the time to talk about the show, and best of luck with another 10 years.
We appreciate it. Thanks, Rob, for coming on.
Thank you.
Matt, we probably should be thankful for the technology that's changed. When you first started, we were in a studio. And so pretty much every episode was done in the studio. And then when COVID hit and we all went to a Teams or a webcam, you and I, as we speak right now, my first, show with you was in my workshop, just using my laptop camera. And now we have some pretty nice equipment and audio that we can continue to do this. Plus the time I was able to record live from Florida. To do it on location. So I'm looking forward to us seeing how the technology goes in the years to come, because we should do more of that.
Well, and I mean, we've done, even when you've been here on site, and we've done some live shows from the IAC campus. It's crazy to think about, because when those first early episodes were happening and we were putting those together, we were shooting them, basically, okay, we'll shoot all the wide shots, then we'll do everybody's close-ups. Then I had to go in, edit all the graphics in, edit all the video packages in. It was a week plus. I mean, we're talking a week or two worth of editing just to get one episode out the door. Now we're doing it all live, switching everything live, and it was by necessity, right? Because of the pandemic and everything, we kind of had to change the way we did it. But it's become so much, not just, I think, more streamlined and efficient and easier, but I think the product's better. I think we do a better show when we're off the cuff and we're kind of just chatting it up like this. So
well, and let's give some extra credit too for those that are not seeing Dylan and Bryce.
Yep.
Having them in the background has helped us immensely, and I would say making it more fun.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. You guys watching the show, you see Lee and I. At this point, this is I think over the years the least involved I am in the production of the show. I helped come up with some of the stories we're going to talk about, but really I just kind of show up and say, okay, let's talk. And Bryce Hutchins is our producer in the back, and he's putting all the work in to make the show look as professional and awesome as it is. Of course, Dylan Carpenter was his predecessor. He put a lot of work into figuring out how we can make this live show really work. And we appreciate all the work that goes into that from those guys, because without them, the show wouldn't be happening. I can promise you that. So, well, and we also have one more guest that we want to talk to for this awesome 10th anniversary episode. We had a chance earlier on today to talk to our executive director, Tyler Dobbs, about his experiences here on AMA Air. So let's throw right to that right now. Well, we are pleased to be joined by our executive director here at the AMA, Mr. Tyler Dobbs. Tyler, welcome to our 10th anniversary episode.
Well, thank you very much, Matt. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate you having me on today.
Over the 10 years that we've been doing this show, I think I don't know that we've confirmed this, but I'm guessing you might be the person that's been a guest on the show the most times over the various capacities that you've had here at the AMA. Every time we'd have you on to discuss, any kind of, government regulation update, or the like, similar to that, we always got a lot of people watching. We always had a lot of people really excited to hear from you. What's it been like for you using AMA as a tool to try to get that kind of important information out to our members?
So, I think this is one of the best tools we have. I would argue that AMA is communicating with its members now more than we ever have in the past, and AMA Air is a big part of that. I've actually hosted the show twice. One was scheduled and one was not. I was a co-host once, maybe a few years ago. And then I want to say it was a Friday evening back in 2017. And the Department of Defense passed their authorization that year, and it included FAA registration. And we got word at 4 p.m. on a Friday that this was coming out. And so we had to do an emergency broadcast that evening. So I am not built to be an on-air talent, but we made it We made it work, and it was well received. And I just want to congratulate both of you and Bryce, who works behind the scenes, and the long list of other on-air talents we've had and producers we've had to make this such a success. So it's a great tool that we have. Our members use it on a regular basis and seem to enjoy it, and we look forward to build upon it.
Yeah, it's been, we've talked about it on the show so many times over the last few months and on today's episode, how much fun we have doing this show. But it really goes to show, as often as we've had you on the show and the information that you're able to disseminate to our members, how important this type of medium is to communicate really quite, in some cases, dense information that comes with government relations, especially. I imagine this is a little bit easier way to communicate things than just trying to write out lots of very complicated legalese stuff on the website or whatever.
Well, it is. And, we kind of live in this bubble, especially in the government affairs world, which has been the vast majority of my, my discussions on AMA Air. But often we don't think about the things our members want to know. And this platform is not one-way communication. I mean, there's two-way, and members can write questions and make comments. So often I would start out with an outline on what I wanted to discuss, and the members with their questions and comments would lead me in a much different direction. So I think that's really important. I don't want to spoon feed members the information that I want them to have. I want to make sure that they get the information that they want. And this two-way communication that this platform and this show allows for, I think is really important to, keep our finger on the pulse of our members in the hobby.
Absolutely.
I'd like to say the last few times you've been on the show, it's all been good news we've been able to share with our viewers. So I hope those of you who are watching right now, just next time you see his face, hopefully it's another round of good news. Because I know the altitude increase was a great announcement that you got.
It is, and we're not done there. I'm actually getting ready to head to DC. I'll be spending the most of the week there, working on a number of things, but altitude increases are one of those things. The government is shut down, but the staffers stay, and often we can get a lot more work done on times where the government shut down and their bosses are, back in their state or back in their district. So we'll keep at it. We hope to have good news to share in the future, and we'll continue fighting and advocating for the hobby and our membership.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you do have some updates to share, as always, you have an open invite here on AMA Air to let our members know about what those updates are.
Well, I certainly appreciate that, and I would like to congratulate you and the entire team again. It is an excellent show and well organized. You guys put a ton of effort into it. What the members see is, 45 minutes or an hour of a show. What they don't see are the days and, all the time spent in prepping and coming up with ideas and finding information and making the needed adjustments. So appreciate all the time and effort you guys put into it. And I really look forward into seeing what this looks like over the next 10 years.
Thank you so much, Tyler. We appreciate you taking some time to come visit us today on our 10th anniversary.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Lee.
Well, again, obviously, Tyler is someone I think we should go back and look, Lee, and figure it out, but I'm pretty sure he's probably been a guest on the show more than anybody else. Pretty sure that's how that works. But he's been an awesome supporter of the show, and anytime we've asked him to come on to talk about something, he's always been game to do so. And it's been an awesome platform to get the information out that he has to get out to folks, and we appreciate all his support. Well, Lee, look, we can sit here and talk about the show all episode long, but we also have some other things that we got to talk about, including our Club of the Month. So why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
Our Club of the Month for October 2025 is the Greensboro RC Aero Modelers. They are an AMA Gold Leader Club located in Browns Summit, North Carolina. The club was established back in 1959, and it's been at 3 previous locations, and they've been at their current field for the past 10 years. The land and the driveway is provided by Guilford County, and the club maintains the field and all the other amenities, which includes a clubhouse, a covered patio, bleachers for guests, run-up stands, and a very well-maintained grass runway. Now, they like to host events every month, and that includes a spring fun fly, Warbirds and Classics, electric night fly, a fall fun fly, a founders celebration, and a year-end Christmas party. They also do several events for the community. One of them is where a group of members visit the elementary and middle schools in their area and do an aviation show and tell program. And this encourages kids to not only get into the hobby, but pursue an aviation career. They also allow the A&T State University Aeronautical program to use their site to test their model aviation contraptions, as I've been told. And finally, one special project they've done is to raise money for the Spirit and Truth Church of Worship, where they take the pilot fees and money raised from lunch and give it to the church for repairs. Now, I'd be amiss if I didn't mention this, and this came directly from the club president, Dwayne Gentry. He really wanted to do a shout out for Roy Johnson, who was a founding member back in 1959, who is very active with the club. He's over 80 years old. And this gentleman, he says, just speaks volumes of his passion for model aviation, and just recently helped do a relief program for the victims of Hurricane Helene in Asheville, North Carolina, by bringing donations to them. So again, sounds like they have a great group of members, people who love this hobby, and definitely worth our Club of the Month for October. So congratulations, our Greensboro RC Aero modelers.
Well, very cool. And also, we have our IFlyAMA cover photo contest to tell you about it. Of course, as always, if you're not yet a member of our IFlyAMA Facebook group, head over to facebook.com/groups/IFlyAMA and join the community there. We have a great time talking about all sorts of things in the aero modeling world. But one of the coolest things that we do is every single month we take submissions from all of you to see what photo is going to be in the cover photo slot for that month. And Lee, tell us about our October cover photo of the month.
Well, our buddy David Lindley with the Free Flight Group has posted this photo of Paul Finn, Joshua Finn's son, flying at Nats with his Free Flight model. It was a great entry, had a lot of upvote. So this is definitely hands down the winner, and it's a great shot. You know, we need more kids active in this hobby. So this is a great way to promote it. And I encourage you guys who see this and enjoy it, go make some comments and congratulate him for getting and keeping alive Free Flight, and go find some other kids to get addicted to this wonderful hobby of ours.
You know, it's so fun every single year when the outdoor free flight nats are going on. The Finns are out there just having a great time and competing and winning. Quite frankly,
Yes.
they're very good at it. So it's awesome to see that in this month's cover photo. That's great. Love that.
Thanks, David.
Again, guys, if you want to join us in the IFlyAMA Facebook group, head over to facebook.com/groups/IFlyAMA. Click the join button. You'll be asked to verify that you're not a robot. Lee will make sure that that's the case, and we will start having a great time there in the Facebook group as we do every single day. Lee, you just got back from a couple events. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
Man, I could take up the rest of the show.
Oh yeah,
I've been to 3 wonderful events since our last show. Neat Fair in Downsville, New York. That was my first time to ever go there. It was a big bucket list item for me. If you're an electric pilot and you've heard about Neat Fair, it's got to be in your bucket list. Please go up there and visit. You can go to neatfair.org to go learn more. We do have a video up on our channel, both on Facebook and our YouTube channel, on some of the highlights, plus an interview we did. And there's a gallery of the photos that I took, that I shared, and did a couple of Instagram reels as well. So I hope you are following all our social media channels. Again, I could go on and on, but it is a really fun event. And again, I'm so glad I got to attend. And hung out with my good friends, Fitz Walker, Terry Dunn from the RC Roundtable podcast, and we had a blast visiting people, talking with them, and it's just good camaraderie. And then immediately after Neat Fair was Bomber Field, USA, the B-17 gathering and Big Bird fly-in. And that's something I've been going to since I was a kid, and my dad had taken me there. And a lot of good time. It is hot. I'll just say it is hot down here. And so that was kind of hot. And I did have someone who saw me because I pretty much just took photos and video with my son, Ryan. We were there doing a whole bunch of stuff together. That was a lot of fun too, by the way, just hanging out with my son, documenting everything. So I have a lot of great photos that I'll share there. They're on my Raviation Facebook page. And again, good stuff. But I remember this one guy saying, "Man, Lee, I saw you just sweating up a storm on that flight line. You never left the flight lane." But you know what? That's where the fun is.
That's right.
I'm sure glad I got to appreciate all that and all the beautiful planes that people brought to that Warbird event. And then just a couple of days ago, actually, just like yesterday, I'm back from B.E.S.T, the B.E.S.T Electrics in South Texas, which is in New Waverly, Texas, and I didn't take photos this year. I hung out with my buddies and I flew planes and I crashed a plane.
Good for you. Well, not the crashing part, but good for you. Good for you.
That was a little sad. But it's just my favorite event. I've been going for 23 years. And some good friends that in fact, again, I've said this over and over again, Fitz and Terry, I met there and we've been friends ever since. But some nice dinner. A group of us made dinner together, and I think this is where you really enjoy the hobby, folks. Is you find a club, you find some pilots that hang out with you, and you just know you can count on them to be with them and share your knowledge, share your sadness of crashing that plane you really liked. Yeah, it was definitely a problem with the plane, not pilot.
No, 100%.
But I do want to add this little shout out because again, I want to thank all of those 3 locations for putting on some great events. But Tri-County did something that I hadn't seen, and that was they put out a whole bunch of AMA membership flyers and join for the crowds that showed up on Saturday. The B.E.S.T event on Saturday is the biggest one, and we have a lot of people sitting in chairs and enjoying the show. And it was just nice to see that the club was active at looking for new members to join. And so I encourage every club out there that when you have an event like that, you can reach out to the Academy of Model Aeronautics, reach the membership department, and ask if you can get some material to promote the hobby for the youth and adults to encourage them to join and be part of this fun hobby.
Absolutely. We have events all throughout the year, all over the country that we try to take part in. We try to go and support, and it's awesome to see you get out to some of these events and really kind of, like you said, have that camaraderie with the other members out there and really get to talk to them and get to know them. And I know you have a great time at some of those events down there. So I envy you, sir. Not so much the heat part, but the rest of it is fine.
Yeah, that was kind of hot. And you can hear more about the Neat Fair event on our podcast, rcroundtable.com, and you can hear that whole story. That was a hoot, and it's a kind of a long one too. We had a 2-hour recap on Neat. So, but if you're ever interested in that, I highly encourage you to do that. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, guys, we want to let you know that the ramp up to the 100th running of the National Aero Modeling Championships has officially begun. You can head over to modelaircraft.org/nats, and we have unveiled the look for the 2026 Nats, our 100th running. We've got a blog up showing that, and the dates have been posted. The outdoor Nats start July the 5th. We're still waiting on our indoor Nats dates to become official, and we'll let you know as soon as those do become official. But we're all getting very excited for the 100th running of the Nats celebration that we're going to have next year. Lee, I hope you'll be able to come join us.
I'll be there. I plan to be, and I'm hoping to drag Fitz along as
Heck
well.
yeah.
So we'll have the three of us up there. But we had a blast. Terry and I had a blast last year, and again for this one, it's a must. So hopefully we'll have a lot more video and content prepared for this historic event.
Yeah, we're planning on doing some really special things next year to help celebrate that 100th running. We've been celebrating this centennial era. We had the 100th anniversary Nats back in 2023 or 22. 23. That's it. Hey, sometimes you got to get the brain working a little bit. And then having this centennial era to take us into the official 100th running of the Nats this year, or for next year. We're really excited about all the fun things we're going to try to get done. So we hope you all get to come join us. If you've never competed in the Nats, boy, what better time than to do it in the 100th running. That's all I'm saying. We'll let you guys know once registration opens for that as well. We'll keep you all posted on all that as those dates come up. We also want to tell you a little bit about our AMA Foundation. They just got back from a 9-stop road trip, visiting clubs all over the Northeast. And we've got a great blog post that's up on the AMA Foundation's page. We'll have a link down in the description box below, so where you can see those. And there's some awesome photos there and some descriptions about where they went and who they talked to. It's a really fun thing to take a look at. So I encourage you guys to go check that out. There's some great videos there involved as well.
And I think Steve's trying to beat me on taking trips because he actually did show up at NEAT, but he left like 2 hours before I arrived. So he was on his way to another event. So I mean, we have to have where in the world is Steve? Haston.
I hadn't heard that story. That's okay. Tried to get you there.
He's making the rounds.
We also want to let you know the AMA scholarships. The applications for those are now open, so you guys can head over to the AMA's website. We'll have a link down below for you to see that as well. To apply for an AMA scholarship, Lee, I know you've got some experience with the AMA scholarships. What do you want folks to know that maybe interested in applying for that?
Well, you just need to do it. I think like every other adult who's got a kid in high school that's looking for scholarships, you got to stick on those kids and say there's just so much money out there. And the AMA has these funds available for many deserving pilots out there, young pilots out there. So please go online and sign up as soon as possible and have them write a nice letter and a history of what they do to participate. And I don't have the numbers here, but I think like we've had a couple of kids over $10,000 in winnings from scholarships. So it's available. So please go online and register. And
I do know that like over the years, the length of time that this AMA scholarship has been a thing, we've given out over $1 million in that. So, it's a really great opportunity for folks. Again, this is going to be for graduating seniors and those currently enrolled in post-secondary education. And the application deadline is February the 2nd, 2026. So, again, they're open now. It's never too early to get those applications turned in. So you just head over to modelaircraft.org/scholarships to learn more about that. All right, Lee. Look, I almost don't want this to end. It's our 10th anniversary episode. What else can we talk about? Is there anything else that we could talk about for this?
Well, I'll throw a couple of things. Well, it is Halloween season.
It is a spooky season.
Erin kind of touched on that. So it is spooky season. So I think if you guys please join the IFlyAMA group on Facebook, I'm going to start a post pretty soon to see about what are your Halloween themed aircraft, folks. So share those. We've done that a couple of years ago. We got some great responses, but I think I'm just going to open up a thread to just have some people talking about it and then see maybe what they have in mind. Maybe it's something they're working on. So please go join the group and always look for those kind of questionnaires that we have available because there's a lot of great feedback from other pilots who are in that group.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, I love spooky season, and when when you match it up with model aviation, boy, you're hitting me right in the right spot. So, share all those ideas, share those photos. We'd love to see what you guys are doing for the Halloween season out at your field. All right, Lee. Well, thank you for helping me celebrate this awesome milestone. We want to thank all of our awesome guests, Rob Kurek, Erin Dobbs, Tyler Dobbs. We appreciate you guys so much for joining us. All of you watching, if you've been watching all 10 years, boy, we can't thank you enough. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know, if you've been around for this whole ride of the 10 years of AMA Air. We appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Let us know who you'd like us to bring back. Maybe you've been around a long time and we had someone on the show. So,
hey, there you go. We've had a lot of guests.
I'm putting Mason. I'm going to write Mason down. So I'm looking at you, Mason, bringing you back.
Heck yeah, there you go. So again, guys, thank you so much for supporting us here on the show. We couldn't do it without you. Of course, if you're not a member of the AMA, we'd love it if you go head over to modelaircraft.org/join. You can learn about what the AMA can do for you there. And again, like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things that the YouTubes and the Facebooks tell you to do. It helps us out. That's all we know, and we appreciate you guys doing that for us. Lee, anything left to say before we sign off?
Nope. Thank you all for watching the 10th anniversary episode.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time on another episode of AMA Air.